Hey folks, welcome to Fresh Produce. I'm Pete from BTI. We have got a first on Fresh Produce today. 2 guests. Never crammed this many people inside the photo booth. So I'd like to introduce Andrea and Roberto from Braking. They've come all the way from Italy. So let's listen to these beautiful accents, and they're going to tell us about braking rotors and pads today. We've got some really interesting and unique technologies, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, thank you, Pete. So brakings comes from the 90s. We are motorcycle companies. We started in the 90s, and one of our innovations in the 90s that make braking a huge company and a success product in the motorcycles market was the wave disc. So whenever you see a wave disc, remember that it comes from braking. And coming from that knowledge from the 90s and the motorcycle, we bring all the technologies into the cycle market, and we created a full line of discs and pads.
And speaking of, you're still pushing the technology envelope in superbike and other motorcycle aspects, right?
Yeah, in fact, our top of the range rotors, the Hepta Stage 0, comes directly from the superbike. So you can see the same discs on the bikes that has recently won the superbike, the Italian superbike. Is the same technology, is the same constructions for the rotors. And so, our key points is to bring the technology that we have in the motorcycling into the cycling.
Yeah, perfect. We can learn a lot from our motored brothers.
Yeah, because the way the heat comes into the motorcycle is totally different than the one that we have in the cycle products. But it helps us to understand how to do great stuff for the bikes.
Yeah.
Because why we decided to come into the bicycle market, because after the introduction, moreover in Europe for the e-bike, we understood that there was the need for a proper products for the e-bike and the weight of the new bikes.
Sure.
And for that, we introduced our products. We started with a simple disc as our WooFix that we have also in 3 millimeters, just to give you the idea that we need these kinds of products for the e-bike.
Yeah, this 3 millimeter thick rotor is really the first one that I've seen. I know there's some others that are getting close out there now in the same thickness, but that was the first of its kind in the industry, from my understanding.
Yeah, and you can use it with our brakes Incas, for example, with the adapters, but it gives you a real value for the e-bike.
For sure, yeah. All that extra heat dissipation with so much additional metal. Because not to mention durability too, right?
One of the main problems regarding the rotors is the way it dissipates the heat. And so we have a proper line and gives you a different solution to dissipate the heat. So you have the 3 millimeter, for example. We have our S3 with 3 points of flotation. It's a semi-floating disc, and our butt fly. So these parts of the disc with the grooves, it helps to clean the pads when you use the rotors. And of course, the best one, which is the Hepta Stage 0.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit, go back to the S3 rotor here. It's a unique rotor. We have talked about it on the show about a year ago, but I want to take another look at it because it's semi-floating. You're getting some of the benefits of floating, but not all. So
because it does make sense to have a flotation on the disc, but at the same time we need points of strength on the disc.
Got it. So that's really for strength, and I'm sure it also makes it easier to get the caliper centered.
Also
avoid rubbing at some point too, right?
Yeah, but from what we learned from our history and our knowledge about the disc, it doesn't make sense to have a complete flotation on the discs. Moreover, on these dimensions.
Got it.
Okay, because we are always talking about dimension that could be used on the bikes, not like the 300 millimeters that we had on the motorbikes.
Of course,
That's why also the constructions of the Hepta Stage 0 is different from the motorbikes and the bikes. So in the motorbikes we have a full flotation, but because it's a 6 millimeter disc, so it does make sense. While on the bikes we have a full pinned disc on the house. Okay,
right.
What makes the difference is the way it dissipates the heat. So we have an aluminum hub on the rotor to dissipate the heat, and all the constructions on the brake surface.
Absolutely. So that's another thing we should point out here, and it goes for both the S3 and the Hepta Stage 0, is really this kind of three-dimension three-dimensional shape of the braking surface itself. You know, the actual braking surface that's silver is where your pads are going to contact, but it's a cutout, though it's still connected. So it's similar, going to act kind of like the holes in terms of the way it cleans the pad.
Yeah.
But you have more material to dissipate the heat and give stability throughout.
Yeah, of course. Because moreover on this dimension, it's crucial how you dissipate the heat. So we have our butt fly that has two, let's say, main characteristics: the way it dissipates the heat and the way it cleans the pads.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just for your information, the machine that drills the brake surface for the hepta, it can do only 16 per day.
Yeah. So it's just a really intricate process. This machine takes a ton of time for each rotor.
Yeah.
So really a premium rotor on the market in my eyes, and bringing something special to the market.
Yeah, and the same discussion that we had about the heat and the way it works, the rotors, could be also discussed about the pads.
Okay.
Because also we have different pads on the catalog. So we have the carbometallics, the organic, and also our Race World Cup, which is our top of the range. You have different feelings. Yeah. So it's not like the pads that you have the bikes are the best for that bikes.
Yeah, so it's not a good, better, best.
No, it depends on the feelings that you have on the bikes.
Right, yeah.
On your knees. So sometimes the organic, even if it's the cheaper of the line, it could be the best for you about the way you brakes, for example. Because one of the characteristics of the organic is that it reach easily the
temperature.
The temperature. Yeah. But it could be, let's say, it lasts to less than the others for the organic, due to the organic parts. But maybe it's the best for you.
Sure.
So what we always suggest is to try different solution on the bike. And combination between rotors and pads, because you can find the right one for you.
Yeah. That's something to note about the whole braking line that I was made aware of. Just kind of the braking line is really made to optimize for the rider. There's a ton of different ways to customize, the cartridge in the brake line between 5 millimeter line and a 7 millimeter line, and just a lot of different options to tweak these brakes to your liking, and the pads and the disc go right.
Yeah, because we have all different feelings on the bikes now. Also, you weigh 8 kilos, I weigh 90 kilos, so the way we manage the bike is different between one to another rider. Yeah. So you have to find, it's not easy, but step by step you can find the right solution for your bike.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about the pad compounds and maybe where they perform the best. Wet, World Cup, what does a World Cup pad do better?
Yeah, for example, the World Cup, why they are the best for us, because you have the main characteristic from the organics and the carbometallics. So they reach the temperature easily, but it lasts longer than a normal organic.
Okay.
And that's why we suggest this for our riders. For example, the Team Scott in Italy, they are using these pads because they are the best for them in cross country. The carbometallics, sometimes the people are scared about how to reach the temperature and the proper usage for these pads, but in some cases, it's always a question of feelings.
Surely.
You can build your setup and find the right feeling for you.
Hey, I understand. We all love tweaking and getting that perfect setup, so that's a fun part of our sport. Cool. So great time to just remind everyone that there's pads that fit a huge variety of brakes, just about all the brake calipers on the market. We've got braking pads that fit, and really great way to fill out the shop shelves with a ton of options for your customers as well. We don't have them here today, but we have some road-specific rotors and pads too. Something else to mention?
We have a light wave discs, and why we developed also a road disc, because we feel the need to have the same specification that we talked about these discs also on the road bikes, because Moreover, on the road bikes, that back on the days you had 3-4 types of wheels depending on the the path, or depending also if it was wet or not. So now the majority of the riders, they have only one wheel.
Okay.
And you use that wheels in every condition.
Sure.
So it happens that also when it's wet, when the road is dirty, so all the dirt comes on the disc and on the pads. So it's super important to clean the pads.
Absolutely.
So we machined the discs with the laser, just to have sharp edges that helps to clean the pads.
Perfect.
So
I think that's something that a lot of road riders, maybe if you're newer to disc brakes or you just haven't thought about braking performance as much, maybe road riders haven't thought about all those details.
Yeah.
And you guys really have. So I think it's a cool reminder to all different types of cyclists to optimize your braking performance. And that's a great way to do it.
Moreover, now that the specifications on the OE bike are already, let's say, high compared to the past, it's super important to find the right details on the bikes.
Yeah.
And one of those could be the discs.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Cool. Thanks so much for watching. We covered a bunch on braking today. I know it's a new company to a lot out there, but there's so much to offer. If you'd like to check out some braking on your own bike, make sure you ask at your local bike shop and tell them BTI sent you.